this is my DR650. He's, oops, that was my horn. And anyway, he's doing okay. He's had a few spills in his time, and was purchased this year in March, and I've already like scratched the heck out of him on his left side. This is the bike I broke my collarbone on too. Pretty cool, huh? That's what I said when I broke it. Not really. I said, ow. You can watch the video, it's in here somewhere. And it's not green yet. But it will be. Whoa! I think I'm going a little fast, don't you? No, not really. It's 65 out here, that's right. I'm doing just fine. I'm doing just fine. These Suzukis are 5 miles off in your favor. So if it says you're doing 70, you're doing 65. There's another interesting theory for you. What if gravity is another form of light? And they say light travels in a wave, but I think I disagree with that, you know, according to perspective. If you're looking at light from the side as it's traveling, then it looks like it's traveling in a wave. But if you look at light from behind, let's say that you were 6 foot tall and a photon of light is the size of an M&M. Like you're shrunk down to that size to where the photon of light is an M&M. And you're traveling behind the M&M, the photon of light, and it's going in a circular pattern, but not a wave, but a circular pattern. You're traveling behind it and it's going like this. Just as we're moving through space right now, it's going like this. So, what is that shape? That's actually a corkscrew. It's traveling like a little corkscrew, just kind of buzzing along there. If you look at the corkscrew from the side, it kind of looks like a wave. Or a circular motion through the air would kind of look like a wave. So they say, you know, because they measure it, sometimes I don't know how they come up with that, but they say it can travel like a wave. But anyway, so let's just say that gravity is a form of light where it's also traveling in this corkscrew pattern. And there's millions of these little photons of gravity just flying up from the center of the earth. Or even from each one of us. They say everything has mass and gravity. So even you and I have these little photons shooting out from us that are like little gravity corkscrews. Ah, my stupid mirror. I gotta figure this thing out. I don't have to look up a YouTube video on how to adjust my mirror, because I can't get it to stay. My 250 I could. My 650 doesn't want to stay. Makes me sad. Stay, mirror. You can do it? Yeah, screw ya. Anyway. All it's good for is just to see if I'm still recording anyway. So no big deal. My right mirror's plenty fine. Back on one track here. So you got all these little corkscrews that do wheelies. Okay, they don't. But anyway, so they're flying, flying around. It would make sense that you have all these little corkscrews, that everything would fall at the same speed. Because these corkscrews, as they travel through something, have an opposite reaction. As they push this way, it pushes backwards. Kind of like everything has an opposite and equal reaction. As it's pushing off an object to go through it, it's pulling the object backwards. Because it's a corkscrew, it's like pulling it backwards. So let's say you have a 1-inch piece of plywood, and let's say that there's only one corkscrew per inch. Now that's way bogus, but you know, there's probably trillions and gazillions per inch, but let's just say that there's one per inch. You have a 1-inch square of plywood, and you decide to turn on that little corkscrew, and it drills through the wood and sucks the wood down at 9.81 meters per second. And then you get a full sheet of plywood, and you again assign 1 corkscrew per square inch on the whole board, and you turn them all at the same time, what do you get? A downward motion of 9.81 meters per second. So it doesn't matter how big the object is, how heavy or how dense, it's just all going to fall at the same speed. Because why? Because all these little corkscrews are going through the object at the same speed, and which means they're giving the same thrust backwards. That's why you have things like terminal velocity and stuff. As you're falling, you get all this air friction coming against you, which makes it so that you can't just instantly go faster and faster and faster. But there's actually another terminal velocity. There's actually a maximum speed that the corkscrews are spinning, and I don't know what that is, but there's actually that maximum speed that they're spinning. So even if there was no air resistance, you would still at some point reach a maximum velocity of the pull of gravity on you. Well, hey dogs, good morning to you. If this is true, and gravity is just a form of light, and there are all these little corkscrews that are pulling down on objects, and this form of light is radiating through the earth, then that would mean a couple things here. Anti-gravity, how could that be made possible? Let's think about it for a second. First, we can reflect regular light using a mirror, right? But the gravity light is too fine or too, whatever. It just goes right through that mirror. It doesn't even reflect off it. But let's say you had some type of an object that could generate a field of some kind or a reflection of some kind to where, hello copper, to where you could reflect that gravity. And you could control it so that you wouldn't just go zipping off into space, because we're moving at like 1,000 miles per hour as the Earth rotates, and we just go flying off into space if it wasn't, for gravity. So let's say you turn that mirror on and you can just go flying up in the air, and then you turn the mirror back on and it sucks it right back down again, and you crash if you don't turn the mirror back on again. So that's one way. Another way is, instead of trying to reflect those gravitons backwards, which might have an interesting effect. If you were to reflect graviton photons, then they would go somewhere else and cause gravity to go the other direction. So maybe that's probably not the best idea, to have a reflective gravity surface of some kind, because bad things could happen in other places. Unless the scattering field was light enough that, or dispersed in different directions enough that it didn't really affect anything very much anyway. So the other way you can do it, which might be the best way, but probably a lot harder to figure out, because the other way is real easy to figure out, is having corkscrews or gravity photons spinning the opposite direction, aimed back down at the ground, so that they're counteracting the pull of the earth against you, or pushing you away from the earth. That one would be a little more problematic, because that one would require an energy source of some kind, not just a reflective surface of some kind, or reflective material, or like you can with the mirror. It would require an actual energized something or other to produce those graviton photons and go in the opposite directions. They might even produce a gravimetric shear for those that watch Voyager, Star Trek Voyager. Every time they have a problem, it's a gravimetric shear, or a graviton pulse, or a subspace anomaly. I think their techies ran out of cool things to say, so every episode, there's a gravimetric shear. It's pulling on our hull. It's going to tear us apart. We'll increase power of shields. I'm trying, but for some reason we can't during this episode, because some alien disabled that particular part of our shield. They knew exactly where it was located on our ship and disabled it. Okay, that's my little... My Voyager rant. We can just kind of skip over that. So my mirror's still screwed up here. I can't tell. There's a cop behind me waiting for me to not stop. So I'm gonna stop. And I'm gonna go. Hey, bud. didn't learn how to turn left, did he? You're supposed to turn into the closest lane to you, and then signal, and then move over to the right lane. But that's okay, I don't mind. It's not my life. This is my life, not his. This is not my life. He can do what he wants with his life. And at this speed of 70 miles an hour, I'm definitely feeling the gravimetric shears pulling against my camera, torquing my helmet to the left. Leave some comments below. Let me know what you think of the Anthony West theory.